We are in Maui. Very first time. Discovering a new island. Also, I'm going to be testing out a brand new piece of tech. This is the Find X5. It's made by OPPO, the sponsor of this video. So I want to see what this camera's like. It's got 50 megapixels. Also take a look at a few accessibility features. Let's go check out Maui. So Maui is all about hikes and beaches. That's how we spent most of our time. You really got to work for some of them because they're not just in front of you. Like, well, right now we're on a bit of a tourist beach by some hotels, but all the cool stuff, you got to drive on extremely windy, small roads. And the most famous of them is Road to Hana, which we took a whole bunch of times. You can drive up and down that thing for days, exploring every little hike and waterfall you see. There's so much that as hard as we tried, we just couldn't see everything. But we did get some really great photos along the way. And then one thing I think a lot of people miss out on is they just take the one side of the Road to Hana because it actually wraps around that whole area of the island and you see a totally different view if you keep going around to the other side. And then you can discover a really great hike. We actually went on twice called Pipiwai Trail. Along the way you start by pools near the ocean, then through small forests, big banyan trees, and then you end up in this crazy bamboo forest. And at the very end, an amazing reward, there is a huge waterfall. It was a little dry, a little thinner when we got there, so it'd be really cool to come here in the winter and see how big it can get. Actually, if you want to get a great sense of what the hikes are like, go check out the video on Wake Up Matt's channel. He shot an interview with me and we just walked around and hiked and talked. It was great. Now let's take a look at the Find X5, starting with the body and the design. It's got a glass front. And especially nice is the glass back, which, like, just looking at it at first, it's actually hard to tell that it is glass. You can't tell if it's going to be like rough or smooth. When you touch it, it's very smooth. It's powered by the Qualcomm Snapdragon 888, and it's got a 6.55 AMOLED 1080p display with 128 Hz refresh rate. A killer feature, especially if you're traveling, is it's got 80-watt fast charging, so you can take a lot of power to it real quick. Be ready to go out the door before you are. It has two different forms of security to log into it, both facial recognition and also an on-screen fingerprint reader. And my favorite part of any phone, the camera. Now, this has a 50 megapixel wide and ultra wide. Both of them are 50 megapixels, which is a ton of memory, like more than you need for most things. So I'd recommend saving them for special occasions. But in those 50 megapixels, you can see so much detail when you zoom in. So when you see something great, crank up the resolution and it's going to be worth it. The lens has a 1.7 aperture, so it's ready for photos in any condition, including low light, or in this case, no light. It was completely dark when we took these photos, like no light at all. Other tourists were using their flash to try to light up the turtles. By the way, this was the most amazing part of the trip. Just every night, the turtles would come out on the beach and just kind of hang out and sleep and not seem to mind that we would watch them from, a safe distance. But it was really amazing. And if you want to get photos like that, I mean, you just have to hold your camera still and the phone will handle the rest. It's powered by the Maui Silicone X Imaging NPU. It also has a 13 megapixel telephoto lens, so it's a huge zoom range from the ultra wide to that telephoto. Any scene that you see is going to be able to be captured perfectly. You'll notice right on the front of the phone, there's a Hasselblad logo because they did collaborate with them, and I like what they did. They used their natural color system, so the images really lean towards a natural, organic look. Something that's a lot more professional friendly. Instead of just trying to crank up the saturation and contrast to make the colors pop, it feels organic and kind of looks the way that it did when you were there. The front-facing camera is going to give you 32 megapixel selfies with its 21 millimeter equivalent f2.4 lens. My food recommendation for Hawaii would be to hit up the food trucks. There's tons of them everywhere. They've got great huli chicken, poke, and tacos. Add in a couple of side bowls, and that was basically all we ate while we were there. If you're gonna travel all the way to Hawaii, you've gotta take some time to go snorkeling. It's super easy to do and really easy to find turtles that don't seem to mind if you just watch them floating around the water. They're just the most peaceful and friendly animal. It is so amazing. One animal you're guaranteed to see is chickens. They are everywhere, every single parking lot, the sides of the roads. You're gonna see roosters and baby chicks. They're all over the place. It's adorable. A few times we found some delicious ripe fruit that had just fallen to the ground called lilikoi, basically passion fruit. Super sweet, really delicious. Like I mentioned, this video is sponsored by OPPO, and there was a few accessibility features that they wanted me to draw special attention to. The whole smartphone revolution has been an amazing tool for so many people that have either audio or visual impairments. In Color OS, they've introduced a feature called Simple Mode. So basically, whatever it is you're trying to do with your phone becomes simplified. There are less options to choose from in menus, the fonts are bigger, and everything is just quicker and easier to navigate. And it also boosts colors for increased visibility. Basically, whatever it is, whether it's vision or hearing or motor skills, you're gonna have a better time using your phone. Another thing that's very common are color vision difficulties. So 1 in every 200 women have it, and 1 in every 12 males have some kind of challenge perceiving different colors. So OPPO has brought the Munsell 100 hue test to their smartphones so that you go through and basically just select from a ring of different colors and line them up to what looks right for you. And based on those results, they tweak the display settings to be just right for your vision, so that the red or green that you see is being slightly adjusted to match what it's meant to look like on the display. Also, they've been promoting and developing accessibility technology for years now. And they started an initiative called the OPPO Research Institute Innovation Accelerator to try to get ahead of the curve by solving big world problems with technology. One of their latest projects is called AR Glass. So it's augmented reality that attaches to regular glasses and does live speech to text. So if people have any sort of hearing deficiencies as other people talk, it writes out what they're saying for them right in front of them, wherever they are. This is how we've been able to end every day here, which is amazing because somehow Hawaii has an epic sunset every single night. I don't know how it does that, but it just keeps happening and I love it. But if you can't make it to Hawaii right now, OPPO does have an app built into Color OS called O Relax. It's got all sorts of different relaxing sounds like the ocean, of course, or forests, or whatever you want to mix into it, to the volume that sounds just right for you going to sleep. It's also got some simple games to help you chill out. There's just so much here. Even though we stayed for long, like 2 weeks, we definitely are gonna need to come back just to see everything.